So when I hear people talk about music education or more specifically hip hop education, usually when people talk about hip hop education, it's always from a very kind of it's a very it's very homogeneous. Usually, but I'm a migrant too, so I always feel like the conversation on hip hop education is very kind of limited, and I feel because my experience with hip hop is different, and you and I know that mostly students that come from different countries, we come to the United States and we're like forced to kind of assimilate to American whatever that is, American culture, and I always kind of resisted that myself, but I feel like when I'm in amongst other hip hop educators, they have a very kind of view that hip hop is this. It's like this is what hip hop, the real hip hop is this, and I have a problem with that because I grew up with a different understanding of hip hop. Mm-hmm. And what's usually weird, what I find interesting about that is that you really never hear a narrative of hip hop education from somebody who's a migrant, right? Like, how do you see hip hop? If you're from Barbados or the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, Africa, like, do they see hip hop differently? And I think that this kind of this project that you guys did here at Ellis Prep was different because you guys gave it your own understanding of hip hop. And it was like a challenge for everybody else who was there. They're like, and it was like, okay. It was hard. It was like a different, like, what is happening? And it was so good that you guys won the whole thing. But I just want to kind of, do you think that hip hop can be more open to migrants? Because I feel like sometimes hip hop is this, and we're gonna record this music, and it has to be in English, and it has to be, or within this certain beat, it has to be this. Like, who defines what's hip hop? Do you think that hip hop can be more open? Hip hop education can be more open to different people, different students?
So for me, I think that it has to be, and that's again going back to what hip hop is.
Yeah.
You have to recognize what's going on, and especially in urban education.
Right.
What's happening and what the American fabric even looks like.
Right.
And what that is, and if you don't take time to appreciate and value multiculturalism, if you don't take the time to appreciate that you have a community that has diversity, and yeah, we might not understand everything,
right,
but we need to take time to understand, not just learn, but to really understand and be each other's keepers. I think that more than anything else that came out of this whole experience for us was we walked out of it and we truly felt like a family.
Yeah.
At least, that's how I feel. And that whole experience is very much hip hop.
Right.
It was I don't think
right.
I think what this did for even the Science Genius program was let's take a look at how we're defining it.
Right.
And how are we looking at this?
Right.
And if we're at the forefront,
right,
and we want to be authentic, now let's look at what's really going on. And I think that that's something that's interesting. It's something that's happening now. And if we really want to maximize on the potential, it also takes reflective practice to think about how did this emerge?
Yeah.
How did this emerge? And to leverage multiculturalism in its truest form, because that's what ended up happening. I mean, the students were picking up English, they're picking up in their math classes, they're picking up in their social studies classes. All of these things are happening, but then also there's this understanding of, like, while we were going through this, in the summertime, it was time for Ramadan. Now they have, I'm Muslim, one of the other participants was Muslim as well, and we started having these conversations about that. When we would go practice, we would go down to the studio, it was time to eat, we're going around looking for food, this is before Ramadan, just being together and we're hungry. Well, what are we going to try today? Well, let's go to the Dominican place. Let's try this. Let's try that. Getting to learn about each other, what each other's families are like. Miss, how did you end up here? Like, why are you studying this? Like, were you born in this country? And you get through all of this and like, yes, I'm born in this country. And having those opportunities to get to know each other, but to move forward with a common purpose and goal.
Create like a communal space.
Yeah.
Yo tengo una pregunta para ti. ¿Qué tú le dirías a cualquiera que piensa que el reggaetón y la educación no tienen una conexión? Cuando ustedes obviamente ustedes han demostrado que sí, tú puedes hacer una canción con reggaetón y hip hop que sea de una manera de conciencia, de una manera educativa. ¿Qué tú le dirías a una persona que piensa en su mente que el reggaetón no puede ser educativo? ¿Qué tú le dirías a una persona?
Yo le diría que te he equivocado porque, porque sí se puede hacer. Porque uno refleja lo que uno vive en la música. Entonces, nosotros como éramos latinos y eso, nosotros incorporamos el reggaetón. Pero como queremos participar en Science Genius, nosotros incorporamos ciencia también. Entonces sí se puede. Hay veces que cuando tú ves la cosa boring, que tú estás en la clase y eso, si tú lo usas, haces una canción de esa materia o de esa tarea, tú puedes aprender esa tarea más fácil y más rápido, porque cuando tú llevas una música que a ti te gusta, tú te la aprendes en un solo día, entonces es lo mismo que pasa, tú te puedes aprender la tarea y todo eso.
Sí, porque mucha gente piensa que el reggaetón es negativo, especialmente en Puerto Rico. Tú le dices a la gente, a los maestros y muchos intelectuales y todo eso, que tú dices, reggaetón, dicen, no hables de reggaetón, porque eso es algo, es negativo, que sí. Obviamente tiene de eso, ¿no? Eso es otra discusión que no quiero hablar ahora, pero que yo veo que el reggaetón es un medio para bien o para mal. Tú sabes, es como el hip hop, puedes hablar de droga o puedes hablar de amor, como tú quieras. Ok, pues nada.
Una manera es una manera.
Sí, exacto.
Es como usted piensa sobre de agua. Agua tiene potencial, que es algo muy peligroso, pero también tiene habilidad para dar vida. También. Y, ¿cómo se dice? Toca vida también. Right?
Sí,
es algo que tiene poder.
Sí, el agua quita la vida y la crea también. Bueno, yo quiero decirle gracias por estar aquí, por estar aquí en esta pequeña entrevista y conversación, de hecho. Y nada, quiero pues, agradecerles por estar aquí y aquí terminamos con esta entrevista.